This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Welcome to Open for Business now at the Philippine Arena. Mapapanood nyo rin ang programang Open for Business sa Facebook at YouTube. Mag-like at mag-subscribe sa aming social media at Net25TV. I am Cesar Vallejos. Welcome to Open for Business. Samahan ninyo kaming tuklasin ang iba't ibang pamamaraan kung paano mapaunlad ang inyong negosyo. Aalamin din natin mula sa mga eksperto ang mga pangunahing trends at strategiya kung paano natin mapapanatiling ang inyong negosyo, maliit man o malaki, ay maging laging open for business. Sa unang pagkakataon sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas, the national elections will be held in the midst of a global pandemic. Interesting times, ika nga. But how can a politician running for the highest government office conduct a political campaign and show strength in numbers while following strict health and safety protocols? The answer is right behind us, the Philippine Arena. Completed in 2014, the 55,000-seater Philippine Arena has since been home to some of the biggest events in the country, ranging from concerts, entertainment shows, and sporting events to historic religious gatherings and activities. This site has also been used by the government for its large-scale pandemic response. This year, the team of presidential candidate Bongbong Marcos and vice presidential aspirant Sara Duterte chose the Philippine Arena as the site of its massive proclamation rally, as the venue is deemed an ideal safe space for such a major event. Maliban sa istriktong pagpapatupad ng physical distancing at pagsusuot ng face mask at face shield, sinisiguro rin na fully vaccinated ang lahat ng pumunta sa Philippine Arena. In this episode, we'll speak with some of the politicians and the people behind the event. Listen to their thoughts on the Philippine Arena being open for business. Also discover the impact of COVID-19 on the election campaigns. All these in this episode of Open for Business.
Kung kayo po ay may nais na isumbong sa inyong lugar, problema sa lipunan na gusto niyo pong paaksyonan, mag-text sa 0956-867-1833 o mag-email sa responde@net25.com. Pwede rin kayo magpadala ng mensahe sa ating pong Facebook page at Net25TV. Sabado, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi. Ito ang Responde, Mata ng Mamamayan.
Masasabi natin na kapag nangangampanya ang mga kandidato saan man sa Pilipinas, hindi mawawala ang tatlong K: kamayan, kamustahan at kainan. But the COVID-19 pandemic is not over yet. While the number of cases nationwide is declining, COVID-related restrictions continue to affect how Filipinos do business, shop, learn, and even participate in political activities. For its part, the Commission on Elections issued Resolution number 10732, which outlined the rules for in-person campaigning, including rallies, meetings, and motorcades. Ayon dito, bawal na muna ang pakikipagkamay, pakikipagkapit-bisig, yakapan o anumang public display of affection o PDA sa pagitan ng mga kandidato at publiko. Bawal din ang pagkuha ng selfies at pamamahagi ng pagkain at inumin. Nakadepende naman sa alert level classification ang bilang ng mga taong papayagang magtipon-tipon sa isang venue. Halimbawa, kalahati lamang sa 55,000 na seating capacity ng Philippine Arena ang maaaring punan hanggat nasa ilalim ng alert level 2 ang probinsya ng Bulacan. Para sa mga motorcade at caravan naman, nakasaad din sa resolusyon ang bilang ng pasaherong pwedeng sumakay sa truck, bus, jeep, sedan, tricycle at motorsiklo. What do candidates think about this new normal in campaigning? Here are some of the reactions.
Well, in terms of campaigning, yes, COMELEC has all these guidelines that we all have to follow. It's very hard to follow actually, but we have to do what we can in regards to protecting our fellow countrymen. So we have to follow these guidelines as much as we can. Kasi kung hindi din naman, kawawa din naman yung mga iba natin makakahalubiro. So, we always have to protect ourselves and also protect the others surrounding us. We're talking about safety protocols. So, we have to follow what's best for us.
Very, very challenging. Kita man naman kanina, social distancing. Pero mahirap control ang crowd pag ganitong event. So that's one challenge. And kami naman sa kandidato, dati gusto namin maraming tao eh. Pero ngayon mahirap lumabas ang tao dahil takot rin sila. So it's very challenging for us to introduce and reintroduce ourselves.
Nakapanayam din namin ang political consultant and strategist na si Jimmy Policarpio ukol sa mga restriction na ito ng COMELEC. Ito ang kanyang masasabi.
Mahirap ang kampanya ngayon kasi Filipinos are used to face-to-face campaign. Kasi lalo na sa probinsya, ang isang kandidato, ang isang botante, kamayan ng isang kandidato, they treasure that. O makatabi, nakasama kumakain, they really treasure them. Pero ngayon iba, puro ganyan, fist bump na lang.
Pero paano yun, sir? Tingin mo makaka-apekto yun doon sa dami ng boto ng politiko?
Well, makaka-apekto, hindi pwedeng maka-apekto at makaka-apekto naman kasi pagka nang dumaan ka, iba yung nakakausap mo eh. Ang botante, gustong-gusto nila nakakadaw pang palad ang kandidato, kamusta po kayo, etc. O kamusta po kayo rito sa baryo, yung amin ng problema dito sa baryo, ganito po. Kung pwede ho, you can help us, maybe isama ninyo. Pero ngayon mukhang mahirap mangyari yun eh.
Amid the ongoing public mobility restrictions, candidates started capitalizing more on media platforms. Nariyan ang mainstream media na kinabibilangan ng mga pahayagan, radyo at telebisyon. And over the past election years, using social media for online campaigns has become increasingly common. Because the internet provides a low-cost means of reaching a large number of people, it is natural that it is now a part of every election campaign. In politics, where money and access to formal communication channels are enormous barriers to new entrants, social media can help level the playing field.
In a way, ngayon, mas nagiging issue-based na rin yung mga tao dahil dati, nung mainstream media yung ginagamit natin, of course mainstream media was very expensive for some of the candidates. Pero ngayon, because of yung social media, it allows even yung mga kandidato na wala masyadong resources to to be present and for yung nakikita na ngayon nung sabi ko nga yung constituent base and nabibigay na niya yung programa, yung kanyang plataforma, and in a way ano na rin, real time yung nagiging interaction dun sa mga tao. We cannot say that it's more expensive, pero siyempre it depends on the platform itself is not that expensive, pero to be able to grow your audience base yung viewer, then it becomes very tumataas din yung presyo mo. You need to get influencers, and now ngayon hindi na yung gaya dati ng mainstream media, you get yung mga artista to become your influencer. Ngayon makikita mo yung may mga ordinary man on the street na na merong wide following. So yun na sila na ngayon yung nagiging new influencers in a way. Pero habang tumatagal rin, ang napapansin ko rin, pati sila tumataas din yung presyo.
But when asked if e-campaigning is likely to dominate Philippine politics, politicians, young and old, think alike.
Kami nakikita namin sa traditional pa rin. Dahil siyempre, you will always still need to go to the ground, di ba? Kailangan mo pa rin pumikot sa mga barangay. Pero hindi naman pwedeng wala kang social media. Kumbaga, it will work hand in hand.
Well, I hope not so much because ako I really still believe in traditional campaigning. So ito po yung mga sorties natin, yung mga house to house, kasi doon po talaga natin nakikilala ang mga constituents natin. And in regards to e-campaigning, yes, it's the new norm right now, and we have to keep up with the times. So we do what we can. We have to adapt, and kung yun po yung isa sa mga pinakamagandang tools po para makalapit po sa ating mga kababayan, that's one thing that we have to capitalize on. And we saw naman on how President Rodrigo Duterte, paano nila na-utilize ang social media. Grabe talaga ang support na nakakuha nila from dito po sa social media. So I guess that's one thing that we have to also adapt to whatever that is that we're doing.
This is the age of digital, no? The age of digital. So if you cannot do an actual campaign in person, so we can do it through Zoom, through social media, but alam mo, mas maganda talaga yung may personal touch.
Kaugnay nito, kanya-kanyang strategiya ang ginagamit ng mga kandidato para makita at makausap ng harapan ang mga botante. Kasama na riyan ang pagpili ng malalawak na venue na kaya pa ring maglaman ng maraming tao sa kabila ng pinapatupad na health and safety protocols. With a floor space of 99,200 square meters, the Philippine Arena is conveniently located at the Ciudad de Victoria, a 140-hectare tourism enterprise zone in Bukawe, Bulacan. Since the megastructure perfectly fit the bill, the Uni team chose it as the venue for its proclamation rally. Ano naman kaya ang kanilang masasabi sa pinakamalaking indoor arena sa buong mundo?
Sa totoo lang, sobrang ganda ng arena natin. At mas nakikita akong, actually unang punta ko dito nung inauguration pa nitong arena, which was 4 years, 5, more. Kumbaga, nakakagulat yung ganda niya dahil first time ko makapasok dito sa area na to. Kumbaga, kung ano yung makikita mo sa labas, pagpasok mo dito, sobrang ganda at sobrang laki. And very spacious siya. Dahil siyempre, pagka kailangan ng social distancing, magagawa mo.
Well, that's very impressive because as long as I get in from the Bukawe toll gate entrance as we leave Manila, I was just focusing my video onto it. Amazing that we were able to build this building. Because in Australia, we got the Sydney Olympic Showground, and we know that countries and countries have nominated themselves to hold a big special showground. And this Philippine Arena is actually built not only supposedly for election. This should open to every Filipino as a venue for their event and for the multifunction as we proclaim our democracy in our country.
I'm really impressed with this rally because we were able to fill up this arena, which is 50,000. Napakaganda po. World class, I would say, world class ito. I have been to a lot of Coliseum in the US, but this is world class. Despite of the fact na puno na, malamig pa rin yung aircon. Sabi ko, wow, ang lamig ah. Napakaganda. And even the facilities, the comfort room, they are working.
Well, I think COVID sensitive sila, 'di ba? Kasi siyempre, isipin natin ngayon, tuwing may gathering, 'di ba? Isipin natin may COVID, 'di ba? O kumuha ka ng malaging lugar para at least safe lahat. You know, at least you can see that you're exercising due diligence. So ako, galing pa nga akong Tacloban pumunta ako dito, nakita ko naman yung policy, nagmamask, meron pang diyan. Meron pang antigen testing and all that. So I think that's good. That's good practice para makita nila. And it's also accessible. It's easier. So, I'm happy.
Well, this is the best and the biggest arena in the whole country. First time ko mag-attend ng proclamation rally na may aircon. To be honest, about lahat ng proclamation rally namin, walang aircon. To first time. At it's an experience. But ang pinaka, sa akin, magandang experience, yung dami ng tao.
Well, unang-una, I'd like to congratulate the whole production outfit for the Unity team launch. Napakagaling, napakadaming tao, napakasaya, buhay na buhay, no missing of a beat. And I think this is the start of something good for the campaign. Yung ganitong klaseng very successful na start or launch ay sa tingin ko ay mangyayari sa buong Pilipinas.
Well, since this is such a success, I'm sure it will be followed by more successes all the way until election day.
Tradisyonal man o makabago ang paraan ng pangangampanya, content is king, or it should be. But for so long, Filipinos have had a fondness for the popular and the controversial. Sa mga nagdaang eleksyon, tila soap opera kung abangan ng mga tao ang mga patutsada at pangayan sa pagitan ng mga kandidato. Sa dinarami-dami ng binago ng pandemya sa buhay ng mga Pinoy, kasama rin kaya sa nagbagong anyo ang pananaw nila sa pakikilahok sa eleksyon?
I would wish a very positive, peaceful election, which I have observed from the beginning. I have arrived here in the Philippine arena, and at the same time, all the people have been united. Despite of the catastrophic effect of pandemic in our lives, I can see from the very eyes of the Filipino, they wanted to contribute something. They want to give a space. They want to give the space to the democracy, that the democracy will lead them in a way that they can be heard. Our unsung hero here in the Philippines, which is, hindi matatawaran ang demokrasya sa Pilipinas sapagkat magkaisa tayo ngayon.
Sawa na sila sa mga away-away, paninira, na parang paulit-ulit na lang. At yung iba kasi ang pagkaano na nila, parang brainwashing lang ginagawa nila ever since for so long a time, nagsawa ng taong bayan na hindi na sila naniwala.
Alam mo kasi, isa pang napapansin ko, ang election ngayon, ang mga botante, iba na ang kanilang culture. Ang culture ng botante ngayon, na makikinig sila, ibig nila malaman. Ayaw na ng botante ng puro away. Tapos na yung lalaban tayo, lalabanan ko sila, lalaban ako para sa inyo. Tapos na yung laban. Ang ngayon ano ba ang gagawin nyo after this pandemic? Kaya yung ibang approach na, hindi ko bobote, magnanakaw yun, liar Hindi ko makagat Kung gusto ng botante ngayon, especially yung mga bata, ang gusto nila makita, ano po ba ang gagawin natin? Ano po ang gagawin ninyo para po ang ating ekonomiya umandar? Gusto ko namin trabaho dito. Anong gagawin niyo para magkaroon ng trabaho?
In response to the changing outlook of the voters, there has been a movement towards issue-based and positive campaigning. Among the candidates said to employ this strategy is the BBM Sara team, who topped the latest surveys. Ano nga bang kinaiba ng approach na ito sa nakagawian na?
People are beginning to realize that pag positive ang campaign mo, people will accept it kaysa maninira ka. Look at those who were having high figures before. tapos nanira sila sa ibang kandidato. Where are they now? Nasa 10%, 8%. You know. So, mag-ano ka ng programa mo? Like in my case, ako positive campaign lang ako. These are my program, these are my plans. It's up to you if you want to accept my programs, my plans. Mayroon akong kalaban. Kung gusto mo yung programa nila, then you vote for him. At the end of the day, you just present to the people what they want. Anong serbisyo ang gusto nila.
If I were Bongbong, I'll retain him. Magaling eh. No? Kaya nga sabi ni Bongbong eh, kung magaling sila, kukunin natin. Dapat sabihin na, sumama kayo, magsama-sama tayo. Kalaban, baliwala, tabi natin ng kalaban, sabi niya. Basta magaling ka, sasama ka namin. To me, that is a good approach. Yung kanyang, magsama-sama tayo, buuin natin ulit ng Pilipinas. Let's work together and put the Philippine economy in order. Put the lives of the Filipinos in order.
As our economic recovery and growth falls on the next administration's shoulders, here are some messages and pieces of advice for whoever serves as the 17th President of the Philippines.
Well, madaming pagsubok ang dumating sa atin. Itong pandemic na ito, itong pandemya na ito, ang pinakita nito yung mga kakulangan. We need to improve our healthcare system. Nakita natin na madalas, especially nung kasagsagan ng pandemya, madalas mapuno yung mga hospital. Madaming hindi na-accommodate dahil especially yung hospitals natin does not only cater for COVID patients, pati yung mga non-COVID patients, nakakasakit pa rin yan eh. Pero what was very glaring is merong kakulangan and it has to be addressed, it has to be improved. Now, ano rin yung pangalawang nakita natin? Ang nakita natin, dulot nitong pandemya nito, madaming tao na wala ng trabaho, madaming hanap buhay ang bumagsak. The challenge now is how to be able to create more jobs, how to be able to help yung mga small and medium enterprises natin na bumagsak during this time of pandemic, how to be able to provide soft loans for them para maging puhunan muli para sila'y makapagsimula. Nakita rin natin the challenge that fell on the students. Di ba? Almost 2 years na tayong walang face-to-face classes. Nakita natin, nahirapan ang mga estudyante, nahirapan ang mga guro, nahirapan ang mga magulang. So, these are things that we have to address. Nakita natin dito because of yung online schooling, nakita natin na kahit na dito sa Asia, tayo yung may pinakamataas na among the highest na parang social media presence, nakita rin natin na pagdating naman sa pag-aaral, hindi pala, hindi at par. Mas okay, andun yung presence natin sa Facebook, sa TikTok, pero pagka gagamitin mo na sa pag-aaral, wala eh. Madaming hindi konektado.
Ako, ang tingin ko, kung halimbawa ako maging presidente at ako'y nagpresidente na, tatawagin ko lahat ng government agency, head of government agency. I am now the president. I want all of you to cut rotten corruption. Pag di nyo nagawa yan, lahat kayo out.
Ang importante kasi dito ay we have to invest on our people and we have to know where to invest in them. We keep talking. For example, nag-meeting kami ni BBM, nag-meeting kami ni Mayor Sara, pinakikinggan ko. Ang habol ng mga tao ngayon magkaroon ng trabaho. Marami ngayon graduate nga ng college, hindi naman makakuha ng trabaho. So palakasin natin ang TESDA. Let's equip our people, with different specialties. Kaya nila yan.
Somebody should specialize in agriculture. Somebody who has a lot of knowledge in energy should also be considered. Hindi po pwede yung mga political appointees lang. Hindi po pwede yung we're just going to satisfy because they have helped a lot in the last election. Ilagay natin kaya dahil nakatulong. At this point in time, I think we should really consider the qualifications of every cabinet member. Like in agriculture, we have to put somebody who can make us self-sufficient. Sa ngayon, you can just imagine, we are surrounded by a sea, we're an archipelago, and yet we're importing fish. Di ba? And then, we are even importing garlic, onions, potatoes. when we can plant it here? So we need somebody with a political will and with a good knowledge na pwede nating ilagay as Secretary of Agriculture. And then with regards to energy, we have one of the most expensive power rates in the world. We can harness a lot of hydroelectric plants. These are the cheap source of energy. Meron tayong nakabinbin dyan na nuclear power plant, bayad na, at that's around 800 megawatt. That's the cheapest source of energy. Ayusin lang natin, titingnan lang natin paano ba natin yan magkakaroon tayo ng magandang protection na hindi naman yung mga environmentalist natatakot kasi na baka magkakaroon ng pollution or something. But, you know, France, they've been successful in putting up nuclear power plant. Even Russia, well, they had an accident once. The US, wala namang incident sa US na nasira yan. And this is a Westinghouse brand. It's a very popular brand in the US. Sayang yan, 800 megawatt. That's only around 25 centavos per kilowatt hour. Compared to what we are paying now, which is around 9 to 10 pesos per kilowatt hour. That's very expensive. So, how can we be competitive? There are certain industries that need a lot of energy, like the plastic industry. Hindi tayo makakakompete ngayon sa China because China has a cheap source of power. I think their rate is only around 2 to 3 pesos per kilowatt hour. Ang laking diferensya po.
Tunay na ang pangangampanya ng mga kandidato para sa eleksyon, may pandemya man o wala, ay hindi lang isang pakulo. It shapes the beginning of a national transformation, which in turn impacts the way we live and earn our living, for better or for worse.
Mga kababayan, let us all be eagles. We shall fly, soar, fight, and win.
Dahil po, kung ang isang tiga Norte at ang isang tiga Mindanao na magkabilang dako ng Pilipinas ay kaya't magsama at magkaisa, sa aking palagay naman, kaya natin ipagkaisa ang buong Pilipinas.
Alam namin ang iyong pagsisikap. Dama namin ang iyong mga sakripisyo. Kita namin ang pagharap mo sa bawat pagsubok. Kaya sa kabila ng mga hamon ng buhay, nandito kami para umalalay. Kasi katulad mo, gusto rin namin ang magandang bukas para sa kanya. Hatid namin ang dekalidad na edukasyon at makabagong pasilidad sa abot kayang halaga. Kaya huwag ka na mangamba. Sasamahan ka namin tuparin ang mga pangarap niya. Maaasahan mong sulit dito ang mga pinagsikapan mo. Sa aming mga makabagong pasilidad at sistema ng edukasyon. Mailalabas natin ang aking talino at mga kakayahan niya. Kahit sa munting halaga, makakasiguro ka na makakasabay siya sa mabilis na pag-ikot ng mundo. Sa New Era, karamay mo kami sa bawat hamon. Kaagapay mo kami sa bawat hakbang. Kasama mo kami sa bawat ngiti at tagumpay.
Show na always nagbibigay ng ngiti at saya sa bawat kada all over the world. Tara na't ma-inspire at ma-amaze sa kwento ng mga bawat kada na nagwagi sa anumang hamon at pagsubok ng buhay. Itago na mga remote control at tumambay lang dito sa paborito niyong barkada sa umaga, ang Kada Umaga! Dahil kayo ang bida dito.
Millennials who grew up in a social media-driven environment have an extraordinary expectation of accountability. The allegations of politicians are constantly fact-checked. Millennials are viewed as agents who shape social change through their behaviors. Most millennials get their political information from television and social media, and they vote for candidates based on their ethics, honesty, intelligence, and experience. Okay, millennials, I have a question for you. What do you care about when it comes to politics? Despite the fact that politics has often been viewed poorly in the past, young people have found motivation to become involved in political reality and try to alter them. The notion of power and empowerment among millennials is situated outside their traditional political and economic decision-making institutions. A little more than half of registered voters are millennials and Generation Z. They still have a way to express themselves politically thanks to social media. I am Jasmine Agustin for Open for Business.
Welcome to Mobile Legends!
Box A! Ano ang laman ng Box A? Yes, sir! That's two! Okay pa rin, meron kang 40,000 pesos! 40,000 pesos! Congratulations! Okay lang! 40,000 pesos! Thank you po! Congratulations! 100,000 pesos!
Maraming salamat po sa Tara Game agad-agad. Sobrang laking tulong po talaga.
13 Sundays na natapos namin ng Season 1. Gusto namin magpasalamat sa inyong lahat na talagang patuloy na sumusuporta sa aming Tara Game agad-agad sa Net25. Tandaan nyo lang, dito kahit hindi henyo ay may chance sa manalo ng hanggang 100,000 piso. Ang kailangan lang ay bilis ng kamay sa pagpindot at diskarte sa pagsagot. Tara Game! Agad-agad!
What comes to your mind when you hear the word EDSA? Walang katapusang traffic, kaliwat ka ng billboards, or air pollution kaya? For prior generations of Filipinos, EDSA is not only a major thoroughfare connecting 6 cities in Metro Manila. It has also been the epicenter of many demonstrations in the country, one of which was the second EDSA Revolution or EDSA DOS on January 20, 2001. The protest led to the resignation of then-President Joseph Estrada and the succession of his Vice President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Today's episode, babalikan naman natin ang mga polisiya at suliraning pang-ekonomiya na hinarap ng administrasyon ni Arroyo, ang pangalawang presidente ng Pilipinas na may pinakamahabang termino. Experts had high hopes for Arroyo and her succession. Aside from being the daughter of former President Diosdado Macapagal, she was also considered an accomplished economist and professor. She earned her master's and PhD in economics from Ateneo de Manila and the University of the Philippines. Pumasok siya sa politika bilang isang senador, during which she chaired the Senate Committee on Economic Affairs. Among the bills she authored and sponsored was the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade Uruguay Round, or the GATT-UR. Its ratification made the Philippines one of the founding members of the World Trade Organization, or WTO. Needless to say, Arroyo made economic growth the key focus of her administration. Her foresight and expertise proved to be useful, especially during economic catastrophes. Halimbawa, halos isang dekada matapos ang Asian financial crisis, umusbong naman ang global financial crisis ng 2008. Sa kabila nito, nakapagpatala pa rin ng 1.45 na GDP growth rate ang Pilipinas noong sumunod na taon. Isa sa mga katangi-tanging programa sa panahon ni Arroyo ay ang Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino Program na nagbibigay ng health and nutrition at education grants sa mga mahihirap na makakatugon sa mga kondisyon ng pamahalaan. There was also the roll-on-roll-off policy which linked many urban and rural areas through an affordable Ro-Ro ferry terminal system. Improving the mobility of goods and services, it resulted in better-off agricultural households and faster rural growth. Nonetheless, political unrest still plagued Arroyo's tenure. Matapos ang EDSA 3 at Oakwood Mutiny, may mga sumunod pang pagtatangka na patalsikin siya sa pwesto, ngunit nabigo ang mga ito. Natapos niya ang kabuuan ng kanyang termino noong Hunyo 2010 at hanggang sa ngayon ay patuloy na kinikilala si Gloria Macapagal Arroyo bilang isang matatag at makapangyarihang personalidad sa larangan ng politika. Next week on Open for Business, we'll talk about the presidency and economic policies of the late former President Benigno Aquino III, who was also a presidential child with an economics degree like Arroyo. Want to know how he did and what he did differently? Stay tuned for our next episode.
Ang morning show na always nagbibigay ng ngiti at saya sa bawat kada all over the world. Tara na't ma-inspire at ma-amaze sa kwento ng mga bawat kada na nagwagi sa anumang hamon at pagsubok ng buhay. Itago na mga remote control at tumambay lang dito sa paborito niyong barkada sa umaga, ang Kada Umaga! Dahil kayo ang bida dito.
Ito ang Net25 Primetime News. Matatag. Matapang. Matapat kasama sina Alex Santos, Emma Tiglao at Vic De Leon Lima. Mata ng Agila. Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 6 ng gabi sa Net25.
Our term of the week is election campaign. Election campaign or partisan political activity refers to an act designed to promote the election or defeat of a particular candidate to a public office. This includes holding rallies and assemblies and displaying or distributing campaign materials, whether printed or digital.
3 buwan na lang at haharap ng Pilipinas sa isa sa pinakaimportanteng eleksyon sa kasaysayan. The next president will have the gargantuan task of reviving the economy, protecting the country's territorial interests, managing trillions of debt, and taking better action against the COVID pandemic. But the reality remains, people will not give their vote to someone they don't know or trust. That's why these candidates spend tons of money to run an extensive and large-scale nationwide campaign, all for the purpose of one day being elected the people's president. Maraming salamat sa inyong panonood ng Open for Business. Samahan nyo kaming muli sa Open for Business sa susunod na linggo. Learn more insights from CEOs, thought leaders, industry experts, and SMEs promoting business development in the Philippines. Keeping you informed and open for business. Be ahead of the curve from vision to action. Panoorin din ang programang OFB sa Facebook at YouTube. Mag-like at mag-subscribe sa aming social media at Net25 TV. Para sa Open for Business, ako po si Cesar Vallejos. We live in interesting times.
Hey there, Arnie Aquino here at Hatley Castle, one of the filming locations for the X-Men series. Don't forget to tune in to Digital Nest only on Net25.